All right, hello everyone. How are you? It's Kay. So this is the 26th of June 2022 on Sunday. So I hope you are having a great Sunday today. So let me do the forecast, the weekly forecast today on the Forex pairs and also gold and WTI and index. And plus, I will review the news for this week so that we know what may happen in this week in terms of the fundamentals. So let's get started. Let me switch the screen. Okay. All right. I see all your comments. Thank you for joining, everybody. Great to see you. All right. Nadim and Bassam, CSM, and Karim, Augustine, and Dirk, Win, and Lan, Gabby, and Richard, Buta, Movie Hero, and Hawao, and Lisa, Marcel, and TikTok, and Shine. All right. And everywhere else, thank you for joining. Great to see you as well. As always. Always good to see you. Yeah, it's been such my privilege to be able to do this. Without your support, I won't be able to do this every day. So I really appreciate on your participations. All right, and Kevin and Mario and Well, also good to see you. I see your comments also. So thank you for joining as well. And Holman too. Thank you for joining. And yes, I will cover the Bitcoin also. I will cover the Btc Usd because I know there are lots of crypto traders here in this community. So since we will cover many pairs, many markets today, let me get right into topics. So let me start. As a disclaimer, as usual, this information on my YouTube channel is basically based on my own experience, knowledge, and perspectives. So when you take trades, please do at your own risks. And also, this is live stream, so on the chat, if you can please follow the rules and guidelines, that would be great. Never comment by capital letters, never repeat same messages over and over again, so that we learn together in this way. And also, recently there are so many spams using my name and faking others. So please be careful. On the social media, I have no Telegram, no Instagram. I don't do Facebook anymore, and I never sent the direct message to anyone anymore. So please be careful. Okay, so now let me switch to the trading view. Okay, and let me fit this into the page so that you see the whole thing in here. Okay, so as usual, we review the weekly and also the daily time frames. I will split the window into two, and on the left, I put the weekly, and on the right, I put the daily chart. So first, I will screen all these pairs from Euro USD down to Swiss franc JPY. There are 21 pairs to cover first. So first, this is the Euro USD. Weekly chart is still bearish because it has been resisted by the trend line. Although, let me get this pen tool. Okay, so the market has been resisted by this yellow trend line. So this is bearish. And also the price is below the Tenkan-sen on the weekly chart. So in this case, sometime this week or next week, I expect the market breaks the support and continuously goes down. The support level is now 1.0350. So I'm actually looking for the sell chance on this pair. And if you look at the daily chart, however, this is range because simply Kumo is flat, Kijun-sen is flat, Chikou span touching. So I wait for downtrend to come on the daily chart and sell. Or to be safer, I wait for the breakout of the support and sell. But anyhow, this is my sell biased market on this Euro USD. Because USD recently is very strong because it's keep increasing the rate and Euro is a bit weak sometimes. So I think based on the fundamentals, I think Euro USD is bearish. Okay, so that's the Euro USD. Next one is the Euro Pound. Euro Pound is now range on both the weekly and the daily time frame. Simply because on the weekly chart, there is a Kumo twist, but this Kumo is too small, and also the market is within the Kumo. So until we see the breakout of the weekly Kumo, the market is still range. That means it may spike or it may go down still. In the short term, we don't know which way it's going on the weekly chart. And with that in mind, if you look at the daily chart, this one is also range, and simply because the Kumo flat, Kijun Sen is also flat, the angle of the Kijun Sen flat, and Chikou span is very close to the candles. So in this case, simply I wait until the market breaks the resistance of 0.8722. And by the time the market breaks the resistance of the daily chart, most likely it also breaks the Kumo on the weekly, and I will continue to look for the buy chance. So that's the Euro Pound. Alright, and next one is the Euro AUD. Okay, Euro AUD has retraced back to the Kijun Sen on the weekly, and daily is about to be bullish now. I am just waiting for the Kumo to turn bullish, Kijun Sen to turn bullish also on the daily chart, and Chikou span keeps above the candles. So this is bull biased for me. And the market most likely retraces back to the Kumo on the weekly chart. So if the market is set to go up on the daily chart or the 4 hour, then I will look to buy. So Euro AUD is bullish right now. Okay, next one is a Euro JPY. Euro JPY has been also bullish still. The price on the weekly above the Tenkan Sen and Chikou span above the candles, so it's bullish. That means there are more buyers and sellers in the markets. And in terms of the daily chart also, this is now bull biased because I can see that the angles of this Senkou span A is up and Kijun Sen is pointing upwards. So this is bullish. And it looks like the Kijun Sen keeps pointing up on Monday and Tuesday. And Monday, Tuesday, Kijun Sen keeps pointing up on the daily time frame. So I will continuously look for the buy chance. It may break the resistance too. Resistance level of the daily double top 144.32. You can wait for the break of that level and buy. But for me, since this is bullish, I know that there are more buyers and sellers in the market. I think the market breaks the resistance. So most likely I look for the buying edge before the market breaks a daily resistance. So Euro JPY, I will mark this one because it's up on the daily and also the weekly time frame. Next one is a Euro CAD. Euro CAD on the weekly is now range because Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, Chikou span is below the candles, but the market has been flat for the last 6 or 7 weeks. So looks like there is no power, there is no sellers in this market to break the support. So for me, just like mentioned last week, I'm waiting for the breakout towards either direction. If the market breaks the weekly resistance, which is 1.3812, then I will follow it into buy. And if the market breaks support 1.3389, then I sell. In between this range, I'm not gonna trade, because most likely it spikes and fakes. if you look at the daily chart, it's also obvious. The market just spikes up and down, and this is not really tradable. So I will simply stay away until the market breaks either direction on the weekly chart. So that's the Euro CAD. And next one is the Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc is let me see. Weekly looks to be range. It broke the support once, but now it came back. If you look at the daily chart, you see the fake breakout of the previous support and the closed above the support. So it may retrace and goes up in this way. Kumo is also very small on the daily time frame. Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen are down, but this downtrend may not really trustable. So on Monday or Tuesday, it may retrace back to the Kijun Sen is my view. So if it goes up, and if I see this uptrend on the 4-hour chart, I can follow. But since this is the Swiss franc pair, it may be a bit tricky. So I think I will simply stay away until the market breaks the major support, which is over here, 0.9972. I wait for the weekly support level breakout and sell. Otherwise, the market may still continue to spike. Next one is the USD pairs. So USD JPY has been bullish on the weekly, and daily chart is also bullish technically. So I will continue to look to buy. Yeah, Kumo on the weekly is up. Kijun Sen is also up. The market has been supported by the Tenkan Sen twice before, 3 times. So this is now bullish. Chikou span above candles too. And according to the daily chart, the market has been also supported by this trend line. Supported by the trend line like this way. And the market is above the Tenkan Sen now. So it's bullish. So I will continue to look to buy chance. So yeah, USD JPY, I think this is one of the best pair to trade this week. Next one is the USD CAD. USD CAD has been a bit tricky these days. In terms of Ichimoku, no trends on the weekly and the daily. So again, just like mentioned on last week, I'm simply waiting for the break of the resistance 1.3076 and buy. Otherwise, I will simply stay away. And moving on to the USD Swiss franc. USD Swiss franc is now range also. I'm waiting for the break of the support 0.9541 and follow downtrend. And according to the daily time frame, there was a fake break of the support. Again, 0.9541. There was a fake out and closed above the support. And actually, this is the neckline of the double top. So I'm waiting for the neckline breakout and sell. So that will be my trade plan, and follow downtrend until the weekly Kumo is touched in this downtrend. So yeah, for now I don't mark because we can confirm the breakout, but once it happens, I will come in and sell on this market. Okay, so that's the plan. So next one is Pound USD. Pound USD on the weekly chart has been bearish. Again, it has been resisted by the trend line a couple of times before and below the Tenkan Sen, so this is bearish. Kumo is also looking bearish. Kijun Sen flat, but since the price below the Tenkan Sen, below the trend line, and Chikou span below candles, Kumo down, I think this is bearish. And I think it will break the support 1.1930. And looks like the market has been resisted by the Kijun Sen. So I expect the market goes bearish. and look for the sell chance. That's the pound USD. Next one is pound JPY. Pound JPY is still bullish in the weekly because the Kumo is up. Kijun Sen is also pointing upwards, and Chikou span above the candle, so it's bullish. But if you look at the weekly candles, you see wicks spiking up and down. So looks like pound JPY recently has been very spiky, very volatile. So I don't feel positive to go in because even if I go in this kind of spiking market, my stop loss might be hunted and then the market just goes towards my direction. So in this case, I prefer to wait for the clear resistance breakout. Resistance is here at 168.77. I prefer to wait for the resistance break and buy. Yeah, because on both the weekly and daily chart, it looks like this is a bit too spiky. But still, I can see more buyers and sellers on the weekly basis. So I will wait for the breakout of the resistance and buy afterwards. That's the plan for the pound JPY. Okay, next one is the pound CAD. Yeah, pound CAD is also bearish on both the weekly and the daily chart, so I will continue to look for the sell chance. Weekly chart also showing that it has been resisted by the Tenkan Sen, so I think this week will be bearish. I will continue to look for the sell chance on this one. Okay, next one is pound AUD. Pound AUD is range on both weekly and the daily chart because Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, and Tenkan Sen also flat on the weekly and the daily chart. So simply I'm waiting for the break of the support 1.7176 in sell, or if the market breaks the resistance level of 1.7853, then it may retrace back to the weekly Kijun Sen. So yeah, I'm simply waiting for the either scenario to happen sometime this week. Otherwise, I will keep away from this pair. Yeah, you never trade when it's range. You know, I only trade when it's trending, because when it's range, obviously there are, there's a fight between the sellers in the long term and buyers in the short term, and that's why you see so many spikiness, and spread usually gets very, very wide when the fight between the sellers and buyers are heated. So yeah, I'm not gonna go in until the market breaks either direction. Okay, next pair is the pound Swiss franc. Pound Swiss franc is down on both weekly and the daily, simply because on both time frames, Kumos are down, Kijun Sens are also down, Tenkan Sen also down, and Chikou span below candles. So just like put the down arrow last week, it broke the support, so I will continue to look for the sell chance. The pound Swiss franc also looks good to sell this week. And now moving on to the AUD pairs. AUD USD, this is also bearish. I can see the USD is strong over AUD, so I think fundamentally speaking too, this pair is bearish. And waiting for the break of the support 0.6826 and sell afterwards. Now Kumo on the weekly is bearish, so that means long-term sellers are still here, still active. And short-term sellers are still active too, because Tenkan Sen is pointing down. Kijun Sen flat. So it may retrace, but for now this is bearish. So I simply wait for the support level breakout and sell afterwards. Okay, next one is the AUD CAD. So just like AUD USD, AUD CAD is also bearish, and it's about to break the support. I simply wait for the breakout of the support level, which is 0.88 A3. So that is my trade plan. For now, I stay away until the market breaks the support because now it's range on both time frames. Okay, next one is the AUD JPY. AUD JPY was a bit tricky market last week because we had the doji on the weekly, but still above the Tenkan Sen. And I think Kijun Sen looks bullish. Tenkan Span A is also bullish, technically speaking. So I think this is the market breaks the resistance level. So for me, this is bullish. But as compared to USD JPY, AUD JPY looks a bit spiky. So I prefer to look for the opportunities on the USD JPY for now. This is USD JPY. If you remember these candles on the weekly and daily chart, AUD USD looks a bit more spiky, right? So yeah, I think I prefer to go for the USD JPY for now. Alright, next one is the AUD Swiss franc. AUD Swiss franc is down on the daily chart, so I will follow the daily direction. This is down on the daily, Kumo down, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen down, and Chikou span below the candles. So it's bearish, I follow downtrend. However, again, Kumo is a bit too small on the daily chart, so it may retrace back anytime. So to be safer, you want to wait for the retracement. The market may retrace sometime this week, so wait for the retracement and then wait for the another breakout after retracement. In that way, you will have the thicker Kumo like this way, and Kijun Sen may be flat and down. And I think that will be the better to sell. For now, looks like this is overshooting market for its downside again because the Kumo is very small. So I wait for the pullback to sell. So next one is the CAD JPY. Yeah, CAD JPY on the weekly is bullish. Kumo is bullish. Kijun Sen is also bullish. And the market has been supported by the Tenkan Sen a couple of times before, so this is bullish. Yeah, I will be looking for the buy chance also on the CAD JPY. But if you look at the daily chart, this looks to be a P wave. It is a P wave, so simply better wait for the P wave breakout. P wave is the triangle range in Ichimoku. So I would wait for the P wave triangle breakout, bullish, and look for the buy chance afterwards. And follow the weekly uptrend along the way. Yeah, so that's the CAD JPY. So again, I'm a trend follower. I will never trade when there's no trends. In this case, weekly trends, that's why I wait for the timing to trade based on a daily price action. So always keep in mind some different time frames on your analysis. So next one is the CAD Swiss franc. CAD Swiss franc has been a bit tricky these days, so most likely I stay away because daily chart looks to be bearish. But I don't think that this downtrend will be persistent because the Kumo is very small. And the market can retrace backwards anytime. So I will simply stay away from this one. The last pair I want to talk about is the Swiss franc JPY. Swiss franc JPY is now bullish on the weekly and the daily chart. Again, Kumo's up. Kijun Sen are also up on the weekly and daily, and Chikou span above candles too. So I will be looking for the buying edge on the Swiss franc JPY continuously. So that is my overview on the Forex pairs on my watch list. Okay, so now let me switch to the gold, the Xau USD. Okay, so as for the Xau USD, it has been very a tricky market, I would say. The market has been ranging right now. On the weekly chart, there is no trend, and also the daily chart has no trends. So in this case, I simply stay away. And because the market goes up and down at any time. So if I were to trade on this one, I prefer to wait for the support level breakout. Support level on the daily chart is 1786.65, because once it breaks that support level, then what happens is that the Kumo will point down, Kijun Sen points down also, and Chikou span comes below the candles in the daily chart. And also on the weekly, it will break the Kumo too, and Chikou span comes below candles too. So yeah, better to wait for the breakout of the support. Again, 1786.65 will be a good scenario. Otherwise, better to stay away. Unless you scalp. You know, I don't scalp. I only trade between the day to swing style. So that's why I have this view. But if you scalp, still, I think this is downtrend in the very short term. So I think it's better to look for the sell chance than buying it for me. Okay, so next one is the WTI. WTI, crude oil, has been bullish continuously. Last week I mentioned if the market breaks the trend line, I will sell. If the market still will be supported by the trend line, that will be the buy. And looks like the market is still supported by the trend line this time. So my view is bullish still. So I will take this down arrow, and my view is continuously bullish. And the Kijun Sen is pointing up on the weekly, and the Senko span Ace also up, Chikou span above candles. So there are more buyers and sellers in the market. So the market may go up this week or at the month of July, and it may break the resistance. And according to the daily time frame, it's range, so we can't read the direction. But since there was a weekly trend line, like in this way, unless the market breaks the trend line, this is bullish. Still, it's bullish. Yeah. So that's WTI. Okay, so let me move on to the index and then the Bitcoin. Okay, so now let me shift it to the index. And first, let me cover Nikkei. When it comes to index, better to look at the weekly because daily usually have too many gaps in between the candles. So better to follow the weekly trends if there is. So Nikkei 225 has been ranging still. There's no trends because Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat. Chikou span is below the candles, but this is getting close. So no trends and no directions right now. Okay, next one is the Dow Jones. Dow Jones has been continuously bearish on the weekly chart because the Kumo is pointing down. Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen is down. And so the market may retrace back to the Tenkan Sen or the trend line, but looks like this is still bearish. So this is not a good timing to buy. The best time to buy is at the breakout of the trend line and then target to the weekly Kijun Sen. That will be the scenario. But when you still see the price below the Tenkan Sen, this is bearish. So still not better to buy, in my opinion. Okay, next one is the Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq has been bearish still. Last week is bullish, but it doesn't mean that the market keeps going up from here. Because Kumo down, Tenko span A down, Kijun-sen flat, but the Tenkan-sen is down. The market has been resisted by the trend line. So unless it breaks bullish, this is bearish, right? But if the market breaks Tenkan-sen and the trend line, just like Dow Jones, the market may retrace back to the weekly Kijun-sen. So I will put the upper row above the trend line like this so that you know once it breaks it, I think target is going to be the weekly Kijun-sen. Same as Dow Jones. Once it breaks the trend line, then target will be the weekly Kijun-sen like this. Okay, and I think same applies on the S&P 500. Yeah. S&P is also the similar setup. Kumo down, Kijun-sen down, Kijun-sen flat, Tenkan-sen down. The market has been resisted by the trend line. So if it breaks the trend line, the target is going to be the Kijun-sen on the weekly. Okay. But for now, this is still bearish. Okay, so next one is the Euro stocks. So Euro stocks has broke the P wave bearish. So looks like this is now bearish. Kumo Senko span A is going down. Kijun-sen flat. But after this P wave breakout, Tenkan-sen is now bearish. And it's about to break the support of 33.79.5. But for now, if you can sell, not right now, you better wait for the support level breakout and sell. Otherwise, it may continuously range. Okay, so next one is the FTSE 100. FTSE 100 has been ranging too, because Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, Chikou span touching. Last week was bullish, so right now there is no tradable setups on this one. And CAC France has been a bit bearish too, because Kumo down. Similar to the Euro stocks, Kumo down, Tenkan-sen is down, Chikou span below candles, so it may break the support, 54.95. And when it does, that will be the sell chance. Yeah, and next one is the Dax Index German 40. This one is also bearish, similar to the other index, CAC France and Euro stocks. Kumo down, Tenkan-sen down, Chikou span below candles, so this is bearish. And looks like it broke the neckline of the previous double top on the weekly. Neckline was over here, 13253.4. So it may continuously go down is my view. Okay, next one is the Nifty Chart. Nifty Chart has been also bearish. Last week was bullish. However, there was a support. Previous support was 15673.55. So the market may be resisted this time, and this week or next week could be bearish. So, and below Kumo, on the weekly below Kumo, Kumo down, Chikou span below candles, Tenkan-sen is also down. So I can see that there are more sellers and buyers on the market. So for now, this is better to stay away is my advice. And next one is the AU200. This one is also downtrend still in terms of Ichimoku, because the Kumo is pointing down. This Kumo is very small, but still this is bearish. Tenkan-sen is also bearish, and Chikou span below candles. And there was a support level, 6743.2. So it may be resisted and continuously goes down this way. And right now, this is inside bar. So this once this inside bar break happens, I think this downtrend will be much more continuous. Okay, the last one I cover is Hang Seng Index, HSI. Hang Seng is now in the P wave range. So we can't really say that this is bullish still unless the market breaks the support. 22,537.57, and then the market will be bullish. Otherwise, the P wave may break bearish. So yeah, for me, this is range. Not really a good time to trade right now. So that covered the whole index on my watch list. And now let me cover the Btc USD, because I know there are a lot of crypto traders. So Btc USD weekly chart shows it's bearish. So for me, this is downtrend still. Kumo Senko span A is down. Kumo is not that thin. This is thick Kumo, and Senko span A is down. Kijun Sen flat, but Tenkan Sen is down. And looks like the market has been resisted by the trend line also. So it's bearish on the weekly chart. And also, if I look at the daily time frame, daily time frame is range right now, but you can see that this Senko span B is now pointing down. Senko span A is also down. Kijun Sen is down, and Tenkan Sen is below the candles, but Chikou span below candles. Right, so this is bearish. Looks like since the 19th of June, for the last 1 week or so, the market has been bullish, but it can go down at any time. Yeah, and this is also P wave. This is also the P wave. So maybe we can extend it all the way to the previous support resistance. But this is P wave. So I think this is bearish. So yeah, and this is a daily time frame, right? So Kijun Sen is pointing down, and we know tomorrow Kijun Sen will go down also. This is Sunday, so tomorrow Monday Kijun Sen will keep pointing down. Kumo will also pointing down. So yeah, I think downtrend will be persistent. So obviously this is not a good time to buy yet. If this were Forex, I would never buy. I will continuously look for the selling edge. So I will keep this down arrow like this, and I think the market breaks, continuously goes down this way. Okay, so that's a Bitcoin, Btc USD. So now let me remind the news for this week. As always, we have to check news before you take trades. So let's see what kind of news we have this week. Okay, so hold on, it's this week, and click apply. All right, so this is towards the end of the month. So we have Monday, we have in the US, there are a couple of news here, durable goods orders, and also there will be ECB's President Lagarde's speech on Euro. So you have to watch out on USD and Euro pairs. And moving on to the Tuesday, the 28th, we have another speech by Lagarde and US ECB. So Euro pairs can be affected by this. And on Wednesday 29th, we have retail sales in Australia, and also harmonized CPI in Germany, and also GDP report annualized in the US, and also Fed Chair Powell speech in the US, and Governor Bailey's speech also, and ECB Lagarde speech. They happen at the same time at 1 p.m. UTC, and next Wednesday 29th. So most likely I'm not gonna trade when actually at this time, 1 p.m. on the 29th on Wednesday. Yeah, so hopefully you set the break even before the news, and come back afterwards, or simply just fix some profits or losses before these big news, big speeches, and come back afterwards is recommended. And also there will be another speech at 3 p.m. in Euro ECB. Okay, and moving on to Thursday, the 30th, we have GDP in the UK and retail sales in Germany, and also, yeah, sorry, that's it. And on technically Friday morning in Asian session, there will be Tankan report in Japan, and also HCP and Euro, and then ISM manufacturing PMI in the US. So like this, we have many big news this week also. So make sure you check the news before you trade, these high impact ones. And if there is, within the 30 minutes, then you better stay away. It's my advice. Okay, so that covers the whole topics for today on my live stream. So now let me check some comments until the end of the live in about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So again, thank you for joining everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Looks like my PC is not working properly because sometimes I have some internet connection problem, and sometimes I have some Skype connection problem, and that's because I think I updated the Windows software to the latest version, and which causing some problems. I hope Windows can have some another update to fix these issues. Yeah, and that's why we better have a mobile app to trade also. I never trade by the PC. I analyze and screen charts by the PC because the PC windows are bigger, much bigger than the mobile. So I do my screenings on the PC, but when I take trades, I use mobile because it's more handy and more stable connections. All right, let's see. All right, good chaps. Thank you for joining. You're welcome. Thank you for your comment. Yeah. Oh, you're keen to look for some books on Ichimoku to grasp a better understanding of it. Okay. Yeah. Are there any other books you can recommend? In terms of Ichimoku, I have been looking for a good books, but I think the best ones are the original ones. But unfortunately, the original books are only in Japanese, not in English. Due to copyright, no one can translate. So that's why I created my own Ichimoku book in my webpage. You can find the link on the below description about my Ichimoku community, and you can find the link to get all the perks, including the 3 books in the community. And these are in English. I wrote them in English so you can have a good understanding of what Ichimoku is all about in these books. And I keep revising these books actually. So that you can have some latest screenshots and latest examples on these books. John Harris says, have you placed a trade based on the weekly chart? If so, what is your trading edge? No, I haven't. I never trade based on the weekly chart. I never do. Yeah, every time I enter trades, I only take the 5-minute time frame to trade, to look for the confirmations. Okay. Anudu says, does all time frames have to be in synchronized or just the higher time frame from which are trading. All the time frames have to be synchronized. Yes, in its direction. Yeah, it has to be like that. You can't, let's say when you see the weekly is up and daily is down, and you have to wait until the daily goes up and buy. Yeah, so always follow the higher time frame directions is a key to success as a trend follower. Because what happens is that, let's say weekly is up and daily is down, that means it's retracing on the weekly uptrend. And this retracement most likely is going to last long, because its retracement, it may be supported by the weekly Tenkan-sen or Kijun-sen or support, and most likely it goes up continuously. And daily chart will turn bearish to bullish and buy. So I wait for the pushback on the daily chart to buy and follow the weekly trends. So always follow higher time frame directions is the key. But you have to be patient. Sometimes it takes a couple of days until the market turns around towards the major direction. So you have to be patient, but you can be patient if you don't lose in that way. Yeah. Okay, Kevin says, do you have a way of finding out what institutional investors do in the markets? There are a couple of websites that actually shows what positions they have and what analysis they are doing and which markets they are looking at to follow and things like that. You can actually find the websites, but I don't refer to them when I take trades. I don't really care what they're doing because simply I follow the directions. Whenever there's a directions I follow, when it stops, I fix profit, I quit, exit, and leave chart. So once I applied this mindset, it became peace to trade. Before I was also curious on how the big boys are doing in the markets, because it said that these big boys manipulate the markets and they take out the stop losses, and afterwards the market goes towards the same direction after these stop loss hunts. I was also thinking that, and I think it's true. I think it's true that it happens, but if you have a good risk management, you can avoid it. I mean, you may lose by these fake outs, by these manipulations, but if you keep these losses small, and if you keep the wins bigger than the losses, then it's manageable. It's my mindset. So after I master the risk management part along with the psychology like that, I don't really refer to these websites on what these big boys are doing. Also, I used to refer to these market orders, like how many traders are putting the buy and sell in one broker, or how many traders are putting stop losses up above or below the resistances. There are some websites or some services that shows kind of the heat map on the right side, like diagram on the right side. When you check the charts, you see some diagram on the right side like this. Maybe you've seen this before. Usually, this part becomes like big like this. This part also becomes big like this, and then this part becomes big, and this part also becomes big. Usually, you saw this diagram. Maybe you've seen this before, and I used to use this because I used to use this because it captures the nice resistance and supports. I thought this is useful to use, but basically these spikes shows the resistance and supports in the markets. when you draw the lines, resistance, it matches with this, big pending orders or the stop loss orders. So yeah, I don't really use these tools again anymore. But simply I trade by the Ichimoku confirmations and with my own strategy, which is Ichimoku Kinko Hyo in multiple time frames, and get the entry in the 5-minute and keep the stop losses reasonably small, in between 20 to 40 pips in range. And once the market goes towards my direction, I move it to break even at the right timing, and then I leave. Because after I set the break even line, technically I don't lose. That will be either break even or win game, which I play, and I can have peace in my mind to leave chart for a couple of hours next. And then I come back to the chart, and if I found the market takes the break even, that's fine. I look for another opportunity simply. But if the market goes towards my direction still, I follow and try the profits. So after I have this mindset with my strategy, I don't really keep up with what these institutional investors are doing or what these heat maps and market orders are doing afterwards. And I think and there is a way to avoid these fake outs. I mean, to avoid the fake outs, to avoid these manipulations, you have to have the good risk management. Again, that means you have to have small losses and big wins. Because the market may reverse backwards. For me also, I have some drawdowns and losses, but because I keep these losses small, I can make profits in the long run. And if you can apply the same rules in this manner, I'm sure you can be successful in the long run. And you start not to care about these big institutions anymore. I think this is at least my way of not pay attention to these institutions anymore. Yeah, okay, so let me check some other comments now. Okay, let me see. Salai says, "Hi Kay, I see the trend line in Ichimoku, but RIS and such at momentum indicator, it has been divergence in this case. Should I follow a trend line continuously, please?" Yes, as long as the price below the trend line, you better follow the trend line direction until it breaks, is my advice. Yeah, so again, follow the major direction. Ozart says, I'm a newbie too, but I'm the best trader when it comes to losing money. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. Everybody loses money in trading. Me too. I have some drawdowns, but you can be the best trader in risk management. That's a way to make profits in the long run. Yep. Okay. Okay. US 500. Can you look in the daily chart, please? Okay. Did you see something interesting in the daily chart? Just curious. Okay, US 500, right? The daily chart. Yeah, daily chart shows the market has retraced back to the Kijun-sen now. And as I mentioned on the weekly chart, it has been resisted by the trend line. So this downtrend may be persistent. So it may be resisted by the Kijun-sen and goes down. Is possible. But if the market breaks the Kijun Sen, then it goes up to the trend line. And once it breaks the trend line, the market goes into Kumo. And once it breaks Kumo, it may be bullish. But within the Kumo, the market may spike, is also my view. So if the market breaks the resistance and the Kumo, I think that will be a good buy chance. Otherwise, in between Kijun Sen and Kumo is range. This is range, better not to trade. And when the market goes down next Monday, Tuesday, you can follow downtrend to sell. So that's my daily analysis on this one. Yeah, Ozart, you're welcome, as always. Okay. Is it possible to add Kyushu Ashi weekly forecast? Sure, I can show the weekly Kyushu Ashi, but it may be a bit of work again. So maybe next week I will. Maybe next week I will do the both weekly Kyushu Ashi and weekly candlesticks. Yeah, since I have released the one booklet or the PDF about the Kyushu Ashi, I will start to look at the charts by the Kyushu Ashi too. Yeah. Kim Mero says, when there's update, wait a while because first update normally contains bugs. Yeah, that was my lesson. That was my lesson. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't turn off the old update. That's a big lesson for me. Yeah. So turning off the old update will be my stop loss. This is how we learn based on our life. Yeah, lessons are everywhere in life. I think that's true. Okay, Hussein says, hello Sensei K, thanks a lot for lives. One question, according to time cycles, don't you think USD JPY may retrace a little then go up and break the resistance? Let me check. Let me check the USD JPY based on the time cycles and also Kyushu Ashi, as we mentioned previously. Yeah, as for the time cycles, as I mentioned, yes, 2 days back was exactly on the Henkabi, and now it's retracing backwards. But it doesn't mean that the market goes down from here, because again, it has been supported by the trend line. If it breaks the trend line, then it may go down to the Kijun Sen, and then it may bounce and goes up also. So, but the next potential pushback will be around the 21st of July, because that's the next Henkabi on the lows. 41 bars to the future from the 26th of May will be the 21st of July. That will be the pushback. So if the market breaks resistance and keeps going up this way, next pushback may happen around this date and the market may continue to grow up this way. Or if the market breaks the trend line, the Kijun Sen, the market may gradually go down range, maybe break the Kumo also, and pushback may happen here and goes up from here too. So time cycles give you a bigger picture of the market, so it's possible that the market may reverse backwards from here. But still, based on the technical analysis on the weekly chart, it's bullish. And it's above the Tenkan Sen and the trend line. So my view in this case is still bullish in this way. And with that in mind, if you also look at the Kyushu Ashi, Kyushu Ashi shows it has been bullish for the last 19 bars. And next Kihon Suchi is 26. So in that sense, this uptrend may be persistent based on the Kyushu Ashi. But the 17 was actually here. 17 was also Kihon Suchi. And 17 was actually exactly the same as the previous time cycles in candlesticks. So in that sense, 17 bars and 33 bars were together. So the market may go down for the next 17 bars. So I think the bottom line in this case is really whether the market will be supported by the trend line and goes up or not. If it breaks, you can follow uptrend. Otherwise, you can follow downtrend. I think it's captured by the time cycles in this candlesticks and also the Kyushu Ashi. Yeah, if you're new to my live streams or on my YouTube, and if you wonder what the Kyushu Ashi is, you can also come to my webpage and get the Kyushu Ashi book. Okay, so looks like it's been about 1 hour now. So I will be ending the live in about a few minutes. Okay, Jian says, what made you stick to Ichimoku but not other strategies or indicators? There was a bit of a story about that actually. I tried so many indicators. When I was a newbie, when I was studying, I tried so many indicators on the internet. I was using the paid indicators. I spent so much time in research, so much money to test many indicators. And I was basically hopping from indicators to indicators and the strategies to strategies. And it was not really successful because I kept changing my strategies. And also I studied the price actions. I also bought some books and also some PDFs about the price actions, and I was exclusively focusing on the price actions. And then after I tried so many indicator strategies, they failed and I gave up. And back then I knew about the Ichimoku, but I thought Ichimoku is a bit complicated and I didn't use Ichimoku back then. And it's actually true among the traders in Japan. You may think that the traders in Japan use Ichimoku, but it's actually not true. Most of the traders in Japan also think that the Ichimoku is a bit complex, so they prefer to use the moving averages or some of the Western indicators. And I was also the one. So I didn't use Ichimoku. But after losing all this time and money investing, and also I was losing on trades, I'm losing streaks, I deleted all the indicators and tried to see charts based on the pure price actions. Back then, I didn't even color the indicators. I was using all the white candlesticks on the chart without any indicators, without any colors on the candlesticks. I was practicing and trading with my own strategies of candlesticks and also lines. And then after a while, I applied Ichimoku. And then Ichimoku made much more sense to me. And ever since, I've been using Ichimoku as my main strategy. And then I started to read the original books, and it made much more sense to me. And I like about the psychology or the view, perspective of the market that Ichimoku gives me. And it really helped me in psychology. And also what Goichi Hosoda told me through the books were also very helpful, because that was exactly what I was struggling the most. You can watch the video on my YouTube channel. I made a Ichimoku series 1 to 5, and part 1 of the Ichimoku series, I talk about a philosophy and the concept of the Ichimoku, and I have introduced some of the philosophies that I liked the most based on what he said. So it really helped me a lot to have a peace in mind in psychology in trades. So again, I didn't use Ichimoku from the beginning of my journey. I didn't like Ichimoku because I thought it's complex. Ichimoku is not even, Ichimoku is complex because it had 5 lines. Kumo is shifted forward, Chikou span shifted backwards, and Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen are not even the moving averages. And I used also betrayed the Ichimoku. I used to change parameters. I was shifting Kumo to the current forming candlestick instead of shifting forward. And I was playing with the Chikou span also shifting 9 or 17, 26 or 52 candles back and forth, Chikou span. And yeah, but I think the best setup for the Ichimoku is the original setup. 926, 52, and 26 works the best. And then I created my own strategy, Ichimoku Kinko Hyo, in multiple time frames. And then get the entries in the 5-minute, and it started to work the best for me. So that was a little bit of my journey, how I picked the Ichimoku Kinko Hyo and create my own strategy. So I'm a Japanese, and I was born and raised in Japan. But even if I'm not Japanese, I will be using Ichimoku for sure. Yeah, I'm using, not just because I'm Japanese. Yeah, even if I'm not Japanese, I'm sure I will like Ichimoku, the concept. Yeah. Okay, so I do see many more comments, but unfortunately I have to go. So I will be ending the live for now. But I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. So I wish you have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. And I hope we all capture some nice tips this week onwards. So until I see you next time, please stay healthy and stay safe and stay gold. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Mata ne. Thanks so much.